What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka the king of the pool boys, as you can see. Oh man, that suntan looks way worse than at least just going through life. That's funny. Yeah, that sun beat my ass. Not gonna lie to y'all. Um, damn. AKA, please don't put on my toast too hard. AKA the serial killer. AKA the Komaki Taika dropper. AKA the social distancing champion undisputed. AKA the nigga live master. Bringing you yet another episode of Switch Your Sights. Episode 202 to be exact. Today's date is August 28th, 2025. Damn. It's been a minute. I lost track of the last time we've spoken, but I believe it was I think June or something. I don't know. Didn't really feel like it was anything worth to talk about, so I didn't. Plain and simple. Some of the events and stuff that happened I wasn't overly excited to talk about, and I don't know, just enjoying the not the I guess the not requirement but the obligation to record an episode. So I do it like when I feel like it, when I feel like all the stars align or whatever. So that's what happened really. But yeah, got a pretty good episode for you today. Talking about Gamescom, the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 price increases. Yeah. And many other things. So, yeah. Without further ado, let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it, shall we? Gamescom 2025. So, man, what it is? This was last week, I believe. It was, as a whole, it was all right. I'm at least gonna go over some of the highlights because they surprisingly did announce a lot of stuff. Starting off, Black Myth Zongkui is the next project from the people who made Black Myth Wukong. No release date. Is it set? It may be slightly different mythology within the Chinese mythology, at least. So, I still have yet to play Black Myth, but yeah. Actually, I'm gonna look at the trailer real quick, cause I think I need to jog my memory. Oh yeah, I think I initially thought this was Ghost of Yote or something. Yeah, no gameplay or anything. So, then of course Resident Evil 9 Requiem. This is like what the marquee show that was promised to be shown, that would be shown here. So we got a trailer for Grace Ashcroft's backstory, kind of going over that, and her talking with Alyssa Ashcroft. R.I.P. Alyssa. You're gone too soon. Gone too soon. So that's cool. Nothing. It was basically just all cinematics, no gameplay. So I guess a little bit. the I'm curious if that's gonna be a meme, the follow mom meme that like is a prompt, like it shows her and Alyssa running out of the I think they're at a station at a hotel and trying to leave, and follow mom. I mean, who would? But yeah, dude would get strangled with a bag. People thought it was Leon. It don't look like Leon. Who knows what it is? Oh, my bad. Strangled him and cut his throat. That's savage. That's savagery, if anything. I don't. So yeah, hey, I'm of course a sucker for Resident Evil, anything, but it's more so an extension from the reveal trailer, so it's not really much to really, I don't know, latch on to, which I'm fine with. I'd rather at this point knowing I'm just straight up gonna play Resident Evil 9 whenever it comes out, that I'm just gonna wait for it to come out, kind of thing. So Ghost of Yote, get another teaser. I do not remember these trailers. Go, okay, get the little bit of the world. Shows her, I think, weapon switching a little bit. Okay. Ghost of Yote. What else that, like, I don't know, is worthy to kind of elaborate on? John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Seems like some, not an extension of the thing, but some, I guess, a totally original game from him. It gives off the Thing vibes to an extent. I guess maybe if the Thing was in 2020, because I think this is technically like in the 80s, but I know it don't. It looks very futuristic for the 80s. Maybe it's just the 80s aesthetic, but maybe it is actually in like modern times. I don't know. Cult of the Lamb DLC. I've never played it. I hear that's a thing. World of Warcraft Midnight. I mean, come on now. Midnight. It's World of Warcraft. I've never played World of Warcraft. Age Empires 4. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Ninja Gaiden 4 story trailer. That was pretty interesting. Got a little bit of gameplay and some cool big samurai dudes and guts and gore and cutting people up. I mean, what more could you want? I don't know. Outer Worlds 2 trailer. I think they were talking about like the companions or whatever they were. Which some of them seem pretty cool. But yeah, it's a good thing they changed that price, because I think initially they were saying, yeah, we're gonna sell this game at $80. I'm like, you out your damn mind. Like, you not gonna get the sales you want at that price. Out your damn mind. So they're like, guys, we've heard you. We've cut the price. I think, is it 7, maybe 60 now. Let me see. Let me fact check real quick. Outer Worlds 2 new price. Oh yeah, $69.99. Yeah, in my opinion, that's still high. Still too high. Personally, yeah, I don't see myself getting that. I guess it's on Game Pass, so I mean that probably be the only avenue I would mess with it. Got a new look at Silent Hill F. Little schoolgirl trauma, going through the trials and tribulations of, Japanese haunted place. That's the only thing I gathered from it, but Universe. I don't even know what that is. It's a lot of these games. I think I was just not paying attention, or I just maybe tuned out. But probably the biggest reveal, well, not even. It's definitely up there. Hollow Knight Silk Song, confirmed. What, a couple weeks, next week or something like that. So finally, the long developed and desired game finally coming out. Which I've never played the first one, so at least give me an excuse to try to catch up. Probably not in time, but you know how that goes. Bubsy 4D, like, come on now. I know the Bubsy fans is out there. I know they in the they hitting, they in the trenches. I don't know about them. I don't. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction. Hey, the beat 'em up renaissance continues, and I'm here for it. I want every aspect of it. I want every single aspect. Give me it all. Just beat 'em up everything. Just turn everything into a beat 'em up. I ain't gonna be mad at it, to be honest. Yeah. He-Man and the Master Universe. I mean, this is a pretty good IP to beat 'em upify, So I'm very much with it. Limited run, coming out with physical editions as well. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a try when it comes out. It's pretty dope. What else? Black Ops 7. Black Ops is Call of Duty is Call of Duty. Like, what else is there? What does there really say? Probably the other biggest reveal was Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. So I think kind of similar to Star Wars, it's like a Lego Batman game that goes through the whole Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy, movie trilogy, I believe. Yeah, story from Batman's origins to fighting crime on the streets of Gotham. So, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's based on the Dark Knight movie trilogy. But it has like the Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, mechanics, like the parrying system and all that stuff. So, but in Lego form, which, I mean, as somebody who's not really gravitated towards the Lego games, this might probably be the one that I would be most interested in playing whenever it comes out. So you got that. Monster Hunter Wilds Final Fantasy 14 crossover, Chocobos Chocobos, Cactuars coming in Monster Hunter, and Kikrits and Palicos hopping over to Final Fantasy 14. What more could you want? I mean, that's the synergy you're looking for, right? I don't know. As somebody who's not played Final Fantasy 14, I assume this is great stuff. Well, outside of the mainstays like Chocobos and Cactuars, which are always synonymous with Final Fantasy regardless, but new look at Onimusha Way of the Sword, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. I'm very much into it. It looks like, it still has a lot of its original identity from the original quadrilogy, technically. I think people forget about the fourth Onimusha game, Dawn of Dreams, but it seems it has that its original identity mostly, with emphasis on parrying, or I forgot what they call it, Ishin. I think Ishin. So definitely on my radar. What's this? This is coming out next year. Okay, let's about to say. Make sure this is on it's on my sites. Fallout 2 Season 2 got a little trailer. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle DLC, Great Circle DLC, The Order of the Giants, coming in a Nintendo Switch 2 also, which is interesting. And then what? They do a Sekiro anime was announced and shown. So no defeat. Sekiro, no defeat. Coming on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll. You gotta get it. I don't know. Get it. So yeah, that's all the Gamescom stuff. As a whole, yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of games that didn't really appeal to me personally, but it was cool, you know. We got confirmed Hollow Knight, confirmed what's that other one? We got a beat 'em up, yet another beat 'em up. Man, we need that beat 'em up resurgence. We really do. We need more beat 'em ups. We may have a good amount, but we don't have enough. We need more. Give us more. Give me more. Moving on. PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch price increases. Yeah. So, PlayStation, I'm going to just read their statement. Similar to many global businesses, we continue to navigate a challenging economic environment. Trump. It's very, it feels very like heated and implied, like a very challenging and economic environment. As a result, we've made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price for PlayStation 5 consoles in the US starting on August 21st. The updated recommended retail price for PlayStation 5 consoles in the US are as follows. PlayStation 5, I think originally was $500, now it's $549.99. PS5 Digital Edition, which was like $400, is now $499.99. Which let me do a double take on that, because like that's just $100 price increase. I think that's right, because yeah, I think, or maybe it was $450. Let me give it the benefit of the doubt. Let me give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it was $450 originally. Yeah. Or no, wait a minute. Yeah. It's $400. That's messed up, man. And then, of course, the PS5 Pro, if you ballin', from $700, which is already high, to $749.99. So good luck with that. Then on top of that, Nintendo Switch also increased their pricing. Oddly enough, specifically the original Nintendo Switch, from $300 to $340 for the I guess vanilla model, and then the Switch OLED model from $350 to $400, and then the Switch Lite from $200 to $230. And that's kind of wild. And when you think about it, kind of compared to all of the previous console generations, especially how the price decreased for these consoles, which, you know, a lot of people, that was their thing. Like, they would let Let a new console come out, give it like a year, 2 to 3 years, and then wait for that price drop. Then buy the game, buy the console, then get all the games. And then, but it's like even now that is just wild. That like, no, we not decreasing the price, we upping that boy. But we all know who's to blame for that clearly, because he is ruining everything. Not to get political, but he's ruining everything. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I digress. Man, crazy, and unprecedented times we are in right now. That's for sure. Cause like, man, I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I do know how I feel about that, but nonetheless. With all that being said, that'll conclude the news for this episode. Let's get into what I've been playing. Death Stranding 2. I am I think like 35 hours in. Mind you, I've been having bouts where I've not been gaming for a bit. Since this came out. And how would I describe Death Stranding 2? First and foremost, I definitely am enjoying it more than Death Stranding 1. I can't speak for the director's cut because I know they added some more. I believe they added some more combat to it, or like combat parts that I think maybe are optional. But nonetheless, I'm only going off of the original Death Stranding game. Yeah, I enjoy it more than one because they did add a decent amount of combat in between like your deliveries, and not just it being BTs, and which is a whole nother thing. But I don't know, like from what I played up to this point, I think I'm somewhat close to the end. At least the game is like pretty much implying like, hey, you're near the end right now, kind of thing. So from what I played, I feel like I just am not a huge fan of the main game loop, which is to deliver and like basically escort cargo, which I don't know, the more I play it, the more I realize that like I'm just not a huge fan of that main game loop itself. That but I mean I'm still compelled to like finish it, more so for just like to see what Hideo Kojima has done, rather than like me liking the game on its own merits, if that makes sense. The more I think about it. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the graphics are great, the visuals are astounding. But I don't know, I feel like that can only go so far if you aren't really a huge fan of the main game loop, which is generally transporting stuff from point A to point B, and with a little deviation here and there. But I don't know, man, because at least that was my complaint with the original one, was that there wasn't enough combat. But now that there is more combat, it's weird. Like I feel like they give you like a good majority of the deliveries or orders, they call it. They give you a lot of freedom to avoid enemies, actually. Of course, outside of the obvious stealth that Hideo is built his reputation for. But it's like now because you give me an option to avoid the combat. I mean, I kind of want to avoid it. Well, especially the BTs as well. Like I feel like as a whole, they're not really that fun to fight, and with the whole fear like aspect of them, and they do some interesting stuff where you can like walk up close to them to like kill them instantly and stuff like that if you're stealthy. But even then, it's like they're hard to see at times if you're like driving. Then the whole inconvenience where like majority of the time, at least for me, I'm like driving since I earned that ability, and it's more convenient as a whole. You don't have to worry about weight as much because you can load pretty much as many things in your car as you can. But then I have to stop, get out of my car, and then try to deal with the BTs, and then make sure all the BTs are gone, and then get back in my car and drive. And I don't know, that feels just inconvenient enough to not really want to deal with it. So at least what I've been doing, at least specifically for the BTs, I'll like go into a zone where like the game will notify you like, hey, BTs are here with the little I think odoric, whatever you call it. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna drive past all of these motherfuckers. So they added a crypto bite, those little small little floating things that like I think they were in the first one. That it was one specifically that makes you invisible to them, to the BTs specifically. So we'll pop one of those and then just drive. And apparently that works. So I would just do that. I've just been doing that pretty much almost any BT encounter I've ran into. Because I don't know. They're just not fun to fight. They're just basically being hard to see, and then the whole thing where like, oh, if they see you, then you'll be alerted. So it's like they kind of force you to be stealthy, but like, and maybe that's the issue I probably have with it. Like, if you could fight them more up front without having to be the requirement to be stealthy, which I mean technically you can't, but it's implied that you can't, because like if you are detected by them, they'll form all this tar around you and make it hard for you to get out. And then when you do get captured by them, then I think it's game over, or maybe you go to another world and then you kind of gotta get your way out or something like that. I don't think I actually ever did. I think the worst has happened is that if they are on your position, they'll all flood you, and then you have to well, they'll like mess with your cargo, so then your cargo will get damaged from them. And then I think that's how I did get a game over one time, where they destroyed my cargo because they were messing with me while I was trying to run away from them or skip them. So yeah, I feel like if they were more fun to fight, I would be encouraged to fight them, but they're just more of a hindrance than like a I don't know, interesting game mechanic to kind of mess with, if that makes sense. So the story, I don't know, you could tell Hideo is like taking some of the criticisms of like his previous games, a la Metal Gear, where they are, how would I say it, that they are very convoluted and a lot to take in. But you can see they like have an excuse for that, which is what they call it, like the corpus, which is kind of like an encyclopedia of all the very niche terms and stuff that like, it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to know what that is? And then like they'll pop it up like, hey, this is they'll go into more explanation as to whatever their term they made up specifically is. I feel like after I finish the game, that will really like solidify like my feelings and thoughts on it. Um, but yeah, at least from what I played, it just feels like I just am not a huge fan of the main game loop of like driving around and dropping stuff off, rinse and repeat. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's like there's boss fights, and of course, like fighting opposing porters or whatever. I forgot. I'm not sure if there's another term for it, but yeah, I found myself like having to really force myself to play the game at times where I'm like, I could play this, but I could play like Fortnite or Gears or something like that. So I don't know. But now that I'm towards the end, I'm like, well, now I gotta finish it, kind of thing. So yeah, that I think that's always been the thought I was like pondering as I was playing it. Like, I don't know, just the long bouts of you just walking. You just walking across, mind you, beautiful nature, beautiful sights and stuff, vistas and what have you. But I just am like, I'm not sure if this is fun, kind of thing. Which I mean, subjective, of course, in terms, Hey, I know there's one hardcore fan that loves the hell out of this game. I'm certain, but yeah, I you could see Hideo trying to like trying to be a trendsetter in terms like, oh, I'm gonna make a thing that you've never made before and it's gonna change your mind, or I don't know. But yeah, I don't think I'm a huge fan of it. I'm just like, I stopped messing with like the VR missions. I really stopped doing all the side stuff. I think I maybe have done one or two, but since then I'm just like, let me just do main orders, because like, I don't know, I just do not feel like having to transport yet another thing of cargo that may be heat sensitive or time sensitive or whatever, and make sure it gets to the place undamaged to get a better grade. Yeah, I just don't. It just is not captivating to me. Yeah, I don't. He Kojima made his best effort to kind of make it the most interesting and engaging to do, but even then it still feels like especially after playing the original one, it's like this just is, I don't think there's a way to make this fun, and which made me curious about like, because I know Hideo said something in the review. Now I gotta pull it up because I'm curious. Damn it. Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding, too good. Yeah, that's what it was. I think it was an interview. Hideo Kojima made significant changes to Death Stranding 2 because playtesters thought it was too good. I'm like, all right. I want to read this excerpt. There's a key moment where he had a discussion probably halfway through when we were doing the game, where he came to me and said, we have a problem. And then he said, I'm going to be very honest. We have been testing the game with players and the results are too good. They like it too much. That means something is wrong. We have to change something. And he changed stuff in the script and the way some crucial stuff happens in the game because he thought his work was not polarizing and not triggering enough emotions. According to Kojima, if everyone likes your work It means it's mainstream. It means it's conventional. It means it's already pre-digested for people to like it. I don't want that. Kojima reportedly told Limon, I guess he's some guy. I want people to end up liking things they didn't like when they first encountered it, because that's where you really end up loving something. And I'm here to say, after 35 hours of this game, I think people are saying like 40 to 50 hours is when they normally have completed it. You probably should have made the game better. You probably should have stuck with it. And I'm just curious, like, what aspects that made the game more too good. It just, I don't know, man. If anybody would say that, it would be Kojima for sure. But you might have been better off doing that, because then it's like, what's the difference with Metal Gear, the Metal Gear games? Or maybe he just didn't have that philosophy with Metal Gear, that maybe he was like, hey, I just want to make the best game I can make or something like that. But I don't know, why not have that mentality with Death Stranding, you know? I don't know. Maybe he's like banking on like, this is a game that like you probably won't adore now, but what, 10, 15 years from now, you'd be like, oh, this is a cult classic kind of thing. I don't know. But if you're making something, don't you want it to be the best thing you've made to date? I just don't get that logic specifically. And then you don't want it to be mainstream, but I mean, it's like gamers as a whole, I just don't, that don't you want it to appeal to as many people as possible? Like, if you want to get the sales. Yeah. It's funny now that just seeing this interview sheds a whole new light in terms of like, I don't know, because I was thinking about this statement as I was playing the game, and I'm like, I was just thinking like, I mean, he could have made it a little bit, he could have made it a bit better, he could have made it better, but I don't know, man. So we'll see. We'll see. And mind you, like, the combat segments are pretty great. They're pretty, like, up to par in terms of like, his previous work. But it's just like, if it was just all of that, then like, hell yeah. But like, I don't know. It's something so dissociating, like shooting some mechs or whatever, and I have like this huge ass backpack behind me, and like I'm trying to be stealthy at times. I'm like, how am I gonna be stealthy with all this luggage in my backpack? Like I got like towering over my head essentially. It's like, how does that work? What am I gonna do? I don't know. It's some immersion breaking in that aspect specifically. But I don't know. It's like, oh, this is stupid. Why am I? It came to a point like, why am I carrying all this? Just, I don't know, man. Death Stranding is definitely it's definitely gonna be divisive for sure in terms of like, people are gonna adore it, love it, but I think I'm falling on the camp that like I'm very lukewarm, mediocre as a whole. There's aspects, of course, like I mentioned, like the combat is pretty fun, but that's I feel like I want that more. So it's like I essentially still want like I think it's still admittedly my bias towards Metal Gear, where I kind of want more of that, even though I know, hey, he's at liberty to make a different type of game, of course, but then you include like the combat and stuff that gives a different vibe as to, I don't know, like insinuate So I don't know. So yeah, I'm very, I wouldn't say on the fence, but I am more on the like, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay camp. If you didn't like the first one, the first Death Stranding, yeah, I don't think you would enjoy this one. I would say that. And I kind of felt the same way with the first Death Stranding, where I'm like, it's all right. It's all right. Would I play it again? No. Maybe the directors could, just out of curiosity, but that'd probably be only a couple hours and I'd be done. So, yeah. Death Stranding 2. Interesting. Very interesting game. At the very least, I'll give it that, of course. Absolutely. I've kind of missed some of Kojima's quirkiness. It's in there in some aspects, but I don't know. I think it's just a management of expectations, which, hypothetically, if like I were to play this originally without knowing his previous work, I'm curious how I would respond to it. But then again, it's like, if that was the case, I probably may have not played this, at least now. So yeah. Death Stranding 2, man. We'll see. We'll see. Moving on. Also played some Gears of War Reloaded. Came out Tuesday. This past Tuesday. Did not mess with the campaign. I just went straight to multiplayer since I kind of know what to expect there. For those that don't know, it's technically a remaster of Gears of War Ultimate. Was it? Yeah, Gears of War Ultimate Edition from 2015, which pretty much has all the content and stuff. But now upscale resolution wise, like 4K, 120 hertz. But probably the biggest aspect of this is that this is the first game to be releasing on a PlayStation 5 as well as Xbox, and there is cross-play support, which is wild to think, man. Wild to think. I'm very much definitely eventually gonna get it on PlayStation 5 just to see, just the I don't know, like feel the weirdness of like, oh, this is so foreign. This is like taboo in a way that, obviously we've grown up to. Well, personally, I've always been on both sides, but knowing the rivalry between each other. But now with this coming out on PlayStation and Helldivers, which is a PlayStation exclusive, coming to Xbox, very interesting aspect as a whole. Yeah. But at least playing on Xbox Series X, it was multiplayer, just maybe a little bit better. Well, let me say, some people are complaining that they did some patches before the release for the multiplayer where people saying the shotgun is a little broken, which I ain't gonna be mad at it. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. As somebody who kind of likes that slight jank from technically was in the original release in 2006. That the shotgun was broken, but I could see some aspects where like the range is a little too far. Cause I was playing the other day and I got an immediate down from like 5 feet away, which for a shotgun you shouldn't have that power, but I don't know. I feel like it teeters the line of fun brokenness over like unfun brokenness where like, you know, a game could be like broken, but it's like a fun broken. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is probably one of the, I think, a prime example of that. Where it's like it's a lot of broken shit you can exploit in that game. But it isn't necessarily too broken to the point where like, you know, people won't play it or have stopped playing it, which is, it's been the opposite. Like what it was, I think it was at Evo this past year for like one of their comeback I got one more in me tournaments or whatever. I think they have a term for it, I'm not sure, but yeah. So Gears of War Reloaded, I still have some more time to play to really, I guess, solidify my thoughts and sentiments on it, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, you know, reliving all the classic maps as somebody who's a huge fan of the original when it came out. Just taking a stroll back to memory lane, and yeah, eventually playing it on PS5 just to see how it feels to like active reload on a PlayStation 5 controller. It's just so hard to fathom still, even though it's like real, you know. Seeing the box art for PS5 with Gears of War Reloaded is like, it's wild. I think this is definitely a pretty huge moment. I guess initially it was the introduction of crossover, which I think Fortnite was the first game to do it, but which was like, oh man, this is crazy. But now it's like, even on Xbox, like you could tell like that they're really, you know, settling their differences, because at least on Gears of War Reloaded, it actually shows the PlayStation icon now, which I'm pretty sure it was more on PlayStation side, was very strict about, like with what Call of Duty and stuff, where if you're playing against somebody on another console, it would just show like a TV icon rather than like the PlayStation icon or whatever, which, I mean, that's a great thing personally. As somebody who is a fan of both platforms, it's great to not have to worry about console wars and giving people more options to play, and also making it more accessible to have more people play who, you know, are either on one console or another. So a beautiful thing, really. I never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. Gears of War on PlayStation 5, which is, it's crazy. Yeah. I hope you know, they keep it going, like, you know, 2 Reloaded, 3 Reloaded, however they're going to do it. I could see them, you know, this I mean, is a great start, you know, seeing a lot of people who've never played Gears play it for the first time is also fantastic. Give them more accessibility, giving more people an option to play. So I'm personally all for it. So I'm gonna play a little bit more. I may mess with the campaign at some point. Actually, I'm probably gonna wait until I eventually get the PS5 version to mess with the campaign, because I know there's haptic feedback and all that stuff where it's like, damn. And then was always wild to me is that they enhanced the game for PS5 Pro, so it's like that's gonna be a different in of itself, that like what your competing console has you optimize performance for, which is just, it's funny to think about. But you know, it's the times we're in. You could see Xbox has been going to that direction where, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. Which, I mean, hey, I mean, for sustainability, it makes perfect sense. So, you know, yeah, wow, crazy times we're in, man. Really, really, really. With that being said, I think that will conclude it for episode 202 of Switches Sites. Yeah. If you did like this podcast, feel free to like, rate, subscribe on your favorite platforms. You can catch video archive of this on youtube.com/SaySwitch, as well as live streaming on Twitch at Twitch TV/SaySwitch. Yeah, man, crazy times. PlayStation, Xbox, they kissing now. Until next time, y'all. Feel free to fuck. Get your damn game on. Oh yeah.
Nobody's safe.